What? Alright. We did 4. So 3 was the one you requested next, Olivia? Hey, y'all need to put that up. Phones up. Phones up. Alright. We're going to solve another one, and this is going to remind you the steps. In the journal, it has all the official steps, which I think it lists 6 steps. I feel like there's really only 3, but they just separate those into smaller steps. Isolate a variable in one equation, plug that into the other one and solve, then take that solution and plug back into the first one and solve. That's really what you're doing, which I'm not saying isn't still a lot, but I feel like it's shorter than what the instructions make you think it is. There's not really 6 long steps. It's baby steps. So 3 real steps. In this case, we actually get to skip step 1 because it's already solved for y on this first one. So we go straight to plug in this, what y is equal to. We'll plug it in for y right here. So we've got 5x minus 4y equals negative 3. But instead of y, we're going to put what y equals. I don't know why this is so blue. Let's try it, because it's not showing up very well. So let's see how it is with the light. I don't know why it's darker today. Okay. Tell me honestly, can you also see your paper okay?
Yeah.
You can see up here better, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
So we're going to plug the negative 3x plus 5 in for y. Okay. And here you just have to do the algebra to solve for x. But just remember your order of operations. Multiplying comes before adding and subtracting. So we have to get rid of these parentheses first. We distribute. So I'm just bringing that down. What's a negative times a negative? It's a positive. So what's 4 times 3?
4 times 3?
Mm-hmm.
18. Isn't it?
12. And then there was an x with that one. And then what's a negative times a positive?
Positive. Negative.
4 times 5?
20.
Mm-hmm. So now we've gotten rid of the parentheses. We just have to combine our like terms. These two match, but this one has to come over here. So how do you move a negative term to the other side? Mm-hmm. Perfect, Olivia. So what's 5x plus 12x?
2x.
Well, what's 5 plus 12?
16.
Close.
17.
17. And then what's negative 3 plus 20? Or you could think of it as 20 minus 3.
17.
Yep. So we've got 17x equals 17. If you divide by the number in front like we always do, what do we get for x? What's 17 divided by 17?
0.
1.
Oh,
Yeah. Any number divided by itself is always 1. So now that we have what x is, we plug it back into this one to get y. So negative 3x plus 5. But instead of an x, we're going to put what x is equal to. That's why this method is called substitution. Because 2 different times we're substituting in a value for what it's equal to. Okay? So what is negative 3 times 1?
3.
Negative 3, yes. And then when we add 5 to that, negative 3 plus 5?
8.
Be careful because think of a number line. You're at negative 3, you add 5, it takes you 3 to get to 0, then you're adding 2 more. Or you could think of it as 5 minus 3.
5 minus 3?
Uh-huh.
2.
2. So remember you put your final answer as a point. Which comes first, x or y in a point? X. So we put 1 first and then 2. So for those of you that said y'all were done, on number 3, if you got this, then that means you've been doing it right.
I got it right.
But if you got something else, then you need to double check what it is that you've been doing to see where you're making your mistake. Alright. So I'm going to be agreeable to what y'all asked, and we'll do the front together.
So can I use my paper?
If you'd like, if you feel like you're really done. For those of you that are not feeling like you're done, we'll do 1 and 2 together as well. Okay, Wyatt, put the phone up, bud.
I'm already done.
You're done?
I'm done with both of them.
Okay, we'll bring it up to me.
Okay, where's it at? Who has my paper?
Well, you should have your paper. I gave it back to you.
Sam. Oh, write my name on it. Sam.
Y'all said y'all wanted to do the front?
Yeah.
Alright. So we're doing the same thing. We're going to take this one, y is already solved for, so we can just plug this in for y. So when you have your negative 2x minus 3y equals negative 7, but instead of y, we're going to put what y was equal to. Okay. We always get rid of our parentheses first. Negative times positive is negative. What's 3 times 6? And that one had the x. And then a negative times a negative, y'all told us was? And what's 3 times 11?
33.
Okay, and it still equals negative 7. We're going to combine our like terms. The x's are together, but how do I move the plus 33 to the other side?
Subtract it.
Yep. So just remember when you're subtracting this, the same sign, you're adding and keeping the sign. Same thing here. Negative and negative, when you add them, are still negative. What's 2 and 18 add up to? Yep. And then what's 7 and 33 add up to?
40.
Yep. So when you're dividing by the negative 20, make sure you don't leave off the negative. That's a common mistake I've seen recently, is y'all will have the right number, but sometimes the wrong sign, and it's usually because of something like that. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So what's 40 divided by 20? 2. So now we're going to take that 2 and we're going to plug it in up here so we can solve for y. 6x minus 11, but I'm going to put 2 in for x. What is 6 times 2?
What did you say, 6 divided by 2?
6 times 2.
Oh, 12.
Yeah. And then we still got minus 11, so 12 minus 11 is?
2. Wait, no. 12 minus 11?
Yeah.
Roll
Yeah.
mine.
All right, so then when we put it as a point, which one goes first, x or y?
X.
X. So we got 2, 1. Do y'all see what I mean? I'm not telling you it's short or that it's easy, but it's not as long as the steps make it appear to be. When you see on the notes that there's 6 steps, it feels like it's a lot longer of a problem than it is. All right, one more. This time, it's the second equation that's already solved for y, so this is what we'll plug in for y up here. So we've got 2x minus 3y equals negative 1. But I'm not going to put y, I'm going to put x minus 1 because that's what it equals. So when we distribute, negative 3 times x is what?
3x.
Negative 3x. And what's negative 3 times negative 1?
Negative 3.
What's a negative times a negative?
Positive.
So positive 3. And then we're combining our like terms. These go together, but how do I move the plus 3 over here?
You add, subtract it.
Subtract it. Nice catch. All right, so what's 2x minus 3x? Or 2 minus 3?
2 minus 3 is 1.
Yeah, is it just a regular 1?
It's a negative 1.
Negative 1. And then what's negative 1 minus 3 on this side?
Wait, what did you say?
Negative 1 minus 3?
Correct, 2.
Be careful. Same sign, add and keep.
Positive 2.
2.
Put in your calculator. Negative 1 minus 3. It's same sign, so we add and keep the sign. Yeah. 1 and 3 make 4. We keep the negative, so negative 4. So then you got to divide by the negative 1 on both sides. So x is what? What's negative 4 divided by negative 1?
1. Wait, 4 divided by 1 is 4.
Yep.
Negative 4.
A negative divided by a negative?
More.
Yeah, positive 4. So then we take this and we plug it back in here. But instead of x, I'm going to put the 4. What's 4 minus 1? 3. So when we make it as a point, what one goes first?
4.
4, and then 3. Alright, so we have officially done half together, like y'all asked. The other half is for you to do independently.